Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Anthrax podcast. It's your host with the most ghosts. You've got Tommy Lee, and then you've got Jason B. Welcome, welcome.
What's up? My channel will be in the description this time. This time. You all right, bro?
Yeah, I've just been doing a lot of thinking. I feel like honestly, overall, I could do a lot more. I feel inadequate in a way. I've been jobless for a couple months now, ever since I got into the psych ward. I pretty much lost my job while I was in there. They just didn't tell me for a week or two.
Yeah.
Um, Car's been
Which was
broken down.
kind of messed up how they did you.
Yeah, I mean, they led me on for about a week or two, and kept saying, come in here, like this day and talk, or come in this other day and talk, and bring your release papers and stuff like that. And they had no intention to hire me back on, and I just ever since then I felt like like a financial burden, you know.
Right. No, I get you 100%. I feel the same way about my situation. I'm really hoping that we can get an attorney involved soon, but it's slowly getting worse. Uh, like my shoulders are both just god awful at this moment, and my ribs have really started hurting recently. My jaw locks up in my sleep. I wake up to it being out, and I have to yank down to get it back into place. My hips have gotten to the point where they're popping, knees, ankles, toes, fingers. It's all getting pretty rough. And I like to write a lot. And if you didn't know, I was a mechanic for a pretty long time. Uh,
Well, I don't know, man. Like for the past, I'd say my car's been broken down for about a 6, 7 months. I don't know the exact time frame. That might not even be in the
it's been
ballpark,
a
but
little bit
it's
longer, I'd say.
it's been quite a while, yeah. But no, I mean, I can't drive. I can't drive anyone back and forth from work. I can't produce an income. I feel inadequate, like honestly, like a loser.
Dude, I feel the same. I'd fix your car for you if I could, but shit, I can't even fix myself. And sure, it's partially a money issue, but my shoulders just won't allow it. I've got a 1992 Camaro RS, 25th anniversary edition. It's pretty much stock. I've got a couple of upgrades, but it's pretty much stock. But it's been broken down about 3 years, and I can't fix it. You know, so it'll get better. I've got a couple people that would help me work on it. It's just a matter of getting the parts. But even then, finding time in those people's schedules that overlaps is difficult because they work opposite jobs. So even though it sounds like a pretty good pipe dream, no pun intended,
Yeah,
it's just it's a convenience issue in more ways than one. I couldn't drive myself back and forth somewhere, let alone somebody else. But if you
exactly.
didn't know, the Camaro was introduced in 1966, and it was actually a response to the release of the Ford Mustang because it was so popular. Another fun fact about Camaro is during its production, like its original start, uh, they actually considered the name Panther, but they decided to go with Camaro later. And there is literally no reason behind it. I don't care what anybody says, but you can look it up. There's literally no reason behind why they picked Camaro over Panther. I love Camaro and I love Chevrolet, but Panther sounds a whole lot nicer than Camaro, in my opinion. But Camaro is still Camaro.
Right. Well, that
What kind
actually
of car
like
you got?
oh my, I have a Cadillac CTS four, and those if most people
What
don't know,
year?
but the Cadillac CTS fours after I think the year 2016, they turned them into Suburbans, not regular sedans. So,
Yeah, I
see the
think
newer
so.
CTS
They've got
fours,
the
and they look
XT5
totally
and the
different from my
XT6.
car.
I used to work, right. Like I used to work at General Motors up in Spring Hill, Tennessee, which is where they make all of those, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I was I was building XT5, XT6, and then we came out with the Cadillac Lyric in 2020.
I've seen the
Or
XT, the
no, it
XTS
was
is
2022. 22. The XTSs are pretty slick too. Yeah.
yeah.
The
We have a
only
couple
reason
of them
that
around
they're
town
different
that
is
drive
they
a
have a
couple of
different
those.
motor and it's got a sport mode.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're pretty slick. Yeah. But your rear cat what was it? Your differential.
the rear
Yeah, your
differential. I think
differential. You have
on
a quarter slip.
the rear
Yeah.
right side is what's wrong with it. Yeah, and the transfer case.
No, you only have one back there. I'm pretty sure you've only got one converter. What it is it's the wheel. It's the wheels when they roll. It's
Hmm.
so that they roll together in their own free state rather than rolling as one. Because you see on race like Hot Wheels cars why that's not a good issue or why that's an issue. It's only got one, and it's so that the wheels can move freely and independently as one. So you've only
Well, I
got
mean,
one,
I know there's definitely an
and it
issue with
would
that because
be
and this
you
is
got
funny
a rear, you got a slip differential.
because we had a guy staying with us. I'm not going to name any names or anything like that, but you know who I'm talking about. We had a guy staying with
Right.
us, and he walked back
Yeah.
there, and he was like, "Yeah, man, that tire sure is bald, isn't it?" And I looked at it, I was like, "Holy shit!" That rear right tire was totally bald. It was smoother than my fucking head at the time.
Right. Shit. When did Caddy start like doing shit like real extensive? I'd like to know. I feel like you would know that.
Well, I do know that, like, I think it was in the 1890s when they were producing Cadillacs. They became the standard for they developed that standard for having steering wheels in cars in like the 1890s. And they were also the
Oh,
first the
Caddy. Yeah.
right, yeah, and they were also the first the brand of car to release cars that were like fully enclosed, like luxury
Oh, cool.
vehicles.
I
Yeah, they were
didn't
the
know
first
that.
ones. Yeah.
Right. Speaking of luxury vehicles, did you know that 75% of all Rolls Royces that were ever made are still on the road today?
Oh
75%.
wow,
They've made a pretty good amount.
that's a
But
really good
right,
track
for a
record.
luxury vehicle to have that many, that's insane. You
Yeah.
know, crazier fact, electric cars, like the whole big hype now, because I mentioned the Lyric earlier, I figured I'd mention that electric cars date back to the 19th century, technically speaking. There were models in 1828 and 1832, and the first modern car was the 1855 Cart Benz patent. It was a motor wagon. That's what it was called.
Oh,
Pretty
and by the
cool.
way, just for context, I have my cat on my lap. I'm not just staring at my crotch.
Right. There's special guest, old Stark boy. You know what I'm
Yeah, I know
saying? I helped
people
name
are
that
probably
mother.
wondering that. Like, why does he keep looking down like that? It's like, no, my cat's here.
Does he have like his dick in his hand?
That
No,
reminds me of
it's a
something from
pussy. It's a
ERB. You
pussy
remember
cat.
Epic Rap Battles of History?
I do.
Something with my dick in my hand. Or no, that was uh Boats and Hoes from Step Brothers. Something with my dick in my hand.
Aha. Prestige worldwide.
Wow. But no, another thing Cadillac first
This
did,
is shit.
they produced the first V16 engines en masse. So they were the first ones to mass produce a
Oh yeah,
V16. Yeah.
those are some strong ass. Those are some strong ass motors right
Oh, yeah,
there.
there's some
But let me
jet
tell you
turbine.
something crazy. How many parts? How many parts you think are in that motor? A lot. You know, the average car actually contains a little over 30,000 parts, and 95% of the time, 95% of them don't go through anything. They don't get used. They don't get touched. They don't even get looked at. They're just there.
And one of the
Kind of
first
like me.
electrical
They just
components
exist.
that people don't normally think about is an electric starter, which Cadillac also first introduced.
No shit. That's pretty fucking wild.
Yeah, because they used to be cranks.
Dude, dude. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they were cranked on a lot of shit. I think the Model
Yeah.
T had one too, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken. There's a lot of vehicles that did. Don't quote me on that. I may not know that for a fact, but you know, the first speeding ticket was actually issued in 1904, and it's because someone was going 2 miles an hour over the speed limit, which was 10 miles an hour.
Oh shit, buddy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
That was
skip you. I
in New
just laughed.
York. Of course, it happened in fucking. It happened in New York. Of course, it fucking happened, and everything happened in the olden days, all the way up to like '85. Everything fucking happened in New York City. Everything, and
We didn't
Detroit,
start
but
recording
Detroit's
history
kind
until
of
1850 in New York.
down now.
It was like, yeah, there you go, guys. All
Right,
right, you got some cat in
100% though.
there.
Did you know, man? Detroit's old school as hell, dude. They got some of the best car shows up there every year
Yeah.
in Detroit. Still, GM's headquarters, dude, General Motors headquarters, where they make Corvette and Camaro, that's in Detroit. That's in Detroit, Michigan, bro. Detroit, Michigan, cool as shit. They got some weird ass road names. Like I think Fat Circle is in Detroit. I wonder if they've got any places for rent there. I'm asking for a friend of mine, but just out of curiosity.
I
Uh,
know.
fucking no, 100%. Uh, crazy thing about it all, man. Crazy thing. You know, the windshield wiper wasn't invented until 1905.
Really?
1905. Yeah, it was invented by a woman. So everybody that says women ain't never given a shit, because a lot of people say women don't invent a damn thing. A woman named Mary Anderson invented the windshield wiper in 1905, and it changed her life, dude. Changed her life. Her family's still rich.
Good.
I don't know exactly where she invented it, but that it changed her life. That'd be like me inventing like a car mount for a type of motor, you know, it'd be fucking life changing. But it'd be like if we started doing like professional YouTube, which it would be nice to do, but ultimately I feel like we're getting better. I mean, look at the backgrounds; they match this time, you know. So
Honestly, like
we're
there's a
getting
couple
better.
of things that Cadillac started, and I don't mean to veer off back to Cadillac, but because it's my car, so I have like kind of like a personal bias for that.
Right.
But no, I mean, like in 1957, I think the Cadillac Eldorado was one of the first luxury vehicles that could be equipped like a mini bar. It had a whiskey decanter, glasses, all kinds of luxury stuff. So like that was in 1957 in a car.
shout out,
Yeah, sponsor.
shout
Yeah,
out
right. I wish.
all the alcoholics. Yeah, shout out to all the alcoholics in the world. You know, sign a check for us. Yeah.
And
Uh,
then what?
crazy thing. What was the
like
so I started I started one a little bit ago when we started talking about cars. It actually made me start thinking about some of the first cars I learned how to drive in, or cars that I've owned specifically. Like, you know, the car I took my driving test in was
uh,
actually it was a manual Volkswagen uh, Passat from 2018. It was either that or the Jetta because that's all my family had, but they were both manuals. I learned how to drive in a manual as well.
I still
What
don't
I
know how to
learned how to
drive a
drive
manual.
in was a 1982. Oh, dude, I'll show you. This is pretty slick.
Okay.
It's pretty easy. The first car I learned how to drive in was a manual, as a matter of fact, and it was
Is it
a
like shifting gears on a
1982
on a on
Pontiac
a on a
Firebird.
motorcycle or
No, motorcycles one up, four down.
yeah? Well, I mean, yeah, but what's the difference between that and like a manual transmission car?
Neutrals when you got it loose. One, two, three, four, five. Reverse, unless you have a six speed, it's one, two, three, four, five, six. Reverse. It changes. You change directions. Like one's up here, two's over here, three, four, five, six. Reverse. And semi trucks, they've got a lever on the back, so you can switch more gears normally. So you'll I could teach you how to do it. It's pretty simple. You just got to make sure you get your clutch right. Some vehicles you can drive one without having to constantly hit the clutch, which is the furthest left pedal. I'm dyslexic. I had to check.
Yeah, see, I always had issue when I had my Honda Shadow. I always had issues shifting gears. Like I'd run too low in a
Right.
gear, and that's just like the issues with my I don't know. There's something up with my muscle fibers where I can't control my strength mid strength very well. If that makes sense. Like if it's all in,
Either little
then
or
I can
massive
do
power,
right
little or
exactly. Like
max.
anything
Right.
in the middle of that is very hard for me to control. So it looks like I struggle with things when I'm not really
Crazy shit.
struggling. I just don't know how much force to put in.
Shit, to be honest with you, bro, I used to drive around like I used to have a really bad fear and phobia, if you will, of driving. Because from the
Yeah,
time I was 14 to the time I was 17, I got in a wreck every year on Christmas Day. And they were bad enough to put me in hospitals pretty much every time. They were pretty rough, pretty expensive. Shit, you remember the one we got in? It wasn't on Christmas Day, but it was relatively close to. I think it was on a holiday. I think it was Halloween when we went out that way and
yeah,
wrapped it around that fucking pole.
close to it.
But
Yeah,
that one hurt me pretty bad, and I didn't know until a little while later how bad it got me messed up. But uh no, I used to drive like when I say a lot about my dad, like my biological father, he's a real piece of shit, drug addict, fuck him. Ooh, blah blah blah. I'm not airing out my dirty laundry.
right.
Who
We're not
gives a
gonna go
shit?
too into that.
But one thing that he did do was he got me over my fear of driving. He threw me in the truck that I grew up in because my granddad had a 1979 Ford F100, which I ended up driving around the majority of the time. But in his backyard, which was less than a half acre, it was real small. It was real small. Uh, and there was a boat trailer. There were two sheds, a fire pit that was massive, and a big ass deck on the back of the house. And he said, "Whatever's in this backyard, if you hit it, we will fix it together. I don't care. But you're not getting out of this truck until you drive." I started driving real slow, and he put his foot on top of my foot, and he said, "Stay calm." And I was like, "Oh, fuck." So I jerked the wheel real hard because I knew what I was about to get myself into. And he slammed my foot down on that gas pedal. And I started drifting, spinning out. I started popping it in reverse, doing J turns, and I got over that fear like that. Or so I thought. My dad said, "All right, you got it. You control it. It does not control you. Just because you've been in accidents doesn't mean that you don't control what's going to happen behind the wheel. Sure, other cars will fuck up and other people fuck up, but you learn that as you drive." So I said, "Yeah, I think I've got it." He said, "All right, let's see." We drove 2.5 hours, and he was like, "All right, so we got to go up here. We got to go pick some stuff up. You're driving." "I'm driving. Me? Uh-uh. Yeah, you are. Get your ass in the car or get your ass on the truck. We're going." And I drove there and back. Someone cut me off twice. I got that under control. I was like, "All right, I'm good." But he got me over my fear of driving. I will always give that to him. And that was in my one of my dream trucks. I still hope to own it one day. It's a 1979 Ford F100. I absolutely love those cars. And the worst luck I've ever had with a vehicle, to be honest with you, was I had a Chrysler 300 from I want to say 2007. I bought it. It was a 2007. I got it when I first moved up to 10, and then I within 2 or 3 weeks the motor had blown. I blew a piston straight through the top of the hood.
Dude,
It was
my
insane.
dad's car was a 2008 Chrysler 300. That's funny.
Yeah, yeah. You told me that. You told me that.
It was a beautiful car too. The only thing that was like as far as like cosmetically wrong with it was we had like a bicycle rack that because we used to have bicycles that we ended up selling, but we had a
Right.
bicycle rack on that
Yeah.
car, and I think my mom went to close it, like close the trunk with the bike rack on it, and she slammed it down real hard, forgetting the
Hmm.
bike rack was on there. and it sliced her through the chest right here. So she's got a
Ooh.
scar right there still. So it almost looks like an open heart surgery scar.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that.
But nah, man,
This meeting
okay,
messenger.
yeah. All right, everyone, welcome back from our break. We had some technical difficulties at the last time we were recording, and it's been a couple of weeks since we recorded that bit of the first episode. So, apologies for that. We will be more fluent and consistent next time. We will fix this in the future. But thank you guys for tuning in. Like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.